Hey guys, Sean T. Phillips here with a brand new video checking out my theme park maps, my retro theme park maps from the years that I went to Disney World. Starting in the first year that I went, to Florida was 1996. So I'm going to show you guys all the maps that I collected over the years and kind of show and talk about some of the things, talk about the things that are gone, some of my memories of the things from there. And I'm going to be showing you guys Disney World, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, MGM, Universal Studios, Universal Islands of Adventure, Wet n Wild, Typhoon Lagoon, and a bunch of other random things as well. So let the video showing my retro theme park maps begin. So now here we're going to go through the maps, and I have a whole bunch of different ones here. The first one is from Typhoon Lagoon, and then these ones you can tell these have the same look because these are from the same time, both from 1996. The one here for Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and under here is a bunch of other ones throughout the other years, and I'll show you through some of these ones. Wet n Wild. Now Wet n Wild is totally gone. Like that whole park, water park was demolished. We went there a couple times, not too much. The one we went to the most water park was Typhoon Lagoon and then Blizzard Beach. I don't think I ever took a map for Blizzard Beach, and there was the other one that was River Country, which I only went to one time, and I didn't like it because it was kind of like swimming in weird water hole kind of thing, so I never really liked that one. We only went once, and I didn't take a map for that. I wish I did. This is one of the Animal Kingdom ones that I have. I don't know what year this is. When we open it, we'll have to see if I can figure that out. And then a downtown Disney guide map. This is now called Disney Springs. This one here is from this one here is from 2000. And then one for SeaWorld. We didn't go to SeaWorld too much. We went a couple times, but not a ton. And then this, I think this is actually one of the first pamphlets I ever remember getting. The first time we went was for Universal Studios. And this was kind of like the advertisement to advertise like the things that were there and that kind of thing. But this is one of those ones I was really glad I took, because this one here was from like a year or two later. And then Universal Studios here, and this was like from 1997. And this is on the Adventure one. I have to figure out when this is from. This is like the advertisement one. This is the park map. And I have other ones as well, but like later. I try to get all the oldest ones. This is from the first year I went to MGM. And if you guys saw my other video showing the family pictures, I was talking about Hunchback of Notre Dame. And they were really pushing that back then, like a lot. Because I think it had just come out recently. And then I have one here for, for CityWalk. And then I also have some of these like photo op things. I'll show you guys some of these ones here as well. So I guess we'll first start with, in no real particular order, I guess we'll start with the Typhoon Lagoon one first, which was my favorite of all the water parks. Blizzard Beach I liked as well. This one we always went for the wave pool, because they had a huge thing which was like a man-made wave park thing, a big waves and stuff like that, and they were like absolutely intense, because they would like if you didn't have your swimming suit on, it would like blow the suit off. It was not, I don't know if they're as intense anymore as they used to be, but they were like really crazy. But with this park though, there wasn't too many big changes to this one. As far as I know, there might not be as many things here at this point. Like, what year is this from? Does it say anywhere on here exactly what year this is? Because I know they had the shark reef thing. This is totally gone now. This is all closed over, but you used to be able to swim with like sharks and stuff like that. But yeah, like somewhere is the shark reef. Yeah, the shark reef is right here, and I never did that. I was always really scared of that. And then they would have like this thing would like blow water out of it. But yeah, like I said, there's not too much, I don't think, besides the shark reef and a few things added. For the most part, this is pretty much the same. I will admit to one thing here. We used to love going in here, and if you guys have ever been, they had like around the front somewhere these like mini donuts, and that was like we honestly were going there for these donuts more than the park. And like every time we would leave, we'd have to get these donuts, and then once or twice, I'll tell you, to be honest, we went and I got dropped off just to go and grab the donuts. And so it was kind of a funny thing that we did. We loved those donuts. Now though, we'll go to Epcot. And like I said, these ones both have the same look because they had the style. I wish I would have taken one from MGM at this time. Like, I forgot to take them sometimes, but we're taking a look now at Epcot. Like I said, this is from 1996 here. Let's see what they're promoting here. The American Adventure. Wonders of Life, presented by MetLife. And I'll try and hold these like so you can read these if you guys want to read this. But the one here, Body Wars, that whole building is totally, it's still there. I think they're planning on doing something else with it. But when they have like the food and wine event, they open the building back up. But in here, it's like talking about like illuminations, talking about Space Week here. I don't know what Space Week was. International Unmanned Vehicle Competition kind of thing going on. Let's open this all up here. And they're advertising like the extraterrestrial encounter. This is the one thing I was talking about, like the alien type thing, which I never went in because I was really afraid of going on that. It has in here like, so what is this? Like Behind the Seeds tour, character dining, Mickey's Garden Lunch, summertime picnic, artistry. So they've always done that kind of stuff when they have like artists and stuff like that kind of come in there. Photo tips from Kodak. Let's see now. Inside, let's open up the map. And the maps were really plain back then. If you guys look at them, they were real like one color and very, very plain. I'm trying to make sure you guys could see this well because there's a lot of reflections. But see how the maps are very plain and kind of a little hard to explain. These things, too, everything is presented by different things. So like this building is presented by Coca-Cola. And they all had like sponsors. So let's see here, presented by GM. But this is when a lot of the things were still here, presented by Exxon. So where is this area here? Now this is the Canada area. Journey to Imagination, and this is back when it had the original version of Journey to Imagination, and when Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was still there, and then like the Dream Finder and Figment Shopping, and that stuff's still there. Green Thumb Emporium, I believe that's still there. Garden Grill, that's still there. Food Rocks, that was the thing that was, I think it was like the singing fruits that I remember kind of liking that one. Living in the Land, that was the boat ride you go through. And that was back at this point in time. It actually had a real person, giving you the tour, and now it's just like a voice. But it was actually used to have a real person doing the tour. Living with the Seas, that was before it became Nemo. And then over here, Interventions, Electric Umbrella Restaurant. I don't know if that exists anymore. Pizza, Pasta, Rigatoni. I don't think any of that is there anymore. Universe of Energy, that was this at the point when it was Ellen? I don't know if it became Ellen's Universe of Energy yet. It might have been the original version of that. I don't know. Let's see in here. Making of Me, Cranium Command. That might have been the one with Bobcat Goldthwait, I think. You guys can look up these too if you guys want to look any of these up. Horizons. That was the only year we ever got to go on that. That was the building that was like the future kind of thing, showing like the way of the future, and you kind of went through it. There's a video someone did of these two guys that were like sneaking into that and like hiding out in that building. Wonders of Life, that's the one, like I said, is where they have the food and wine. You kind of can go in now, but all this stuff is gone. And I used to like that. They had Body Wars in there. They had the Crane Command, like I was saying. And my mom used to always get these like fruit smoothie things in there. But like I said, it's just interesting to see. And I want to make sure I close these things up correctly. They're going to be a little confusing to fold these up and not screw these maps up. So like do it like this. I don't want to, after keeping it now for 24 years, I don't want to screw it up. Let's just briefly look at the one from 1997. Because at this point, this is when they had the like the futuristic kind of stuff they were advertising. And if you guys want to see like a lot of this the way it looked then, look up the Family Matters episode when they go to Disney, and they film a lot of it at Epcot. So you guys can see Epcot, like what it looks like then, if you want to see like some video of it. But if you see though, within 1 year, they fixed the map. And this is like the way the maps look now. When it's like detailed with pictures, you can see everything well, and it says like Universe of Energy, Wonders of Life, Horizons. And this is when Test Track was coming soon in '97. So that's how long Test Track has been there. It's, they kind of act like that's new, or people act like that's the big thing, but it's been there forever, since like 90s. I guess it must have opened in like 98. Let's see, in this one, it's much easier to read this map. They really fixed it between those 2 years. So this might have been the last year that I might have been wrong. Horizons must have still been there. And then there was was a thing where Test Track was? Maybe I'm mixing this up because, like I said, this other map is really hard to read. I'm glad that they didn't keep it like this because, as you can see, when you look at like that within 1 year, how bad the map was with trying to understand it. Like, I couldn't understand this at all back then. So let's see, what did it say here? Presented by GM, reopening in 97. So 17 there was the GM General Motors Preview Pavilion is what was here. So some kind of a preview pavilion. So I guess Horizons was that one, like I was mentioning, when they go through it and they it's like the future kind of thing, I believe that's what that one was. Let's see anything else different here. Living with the Seas. I don't think there's anything else different though at this point in time, but mainly the big thing though was how differently the map changed at that point. This year though was when it was the year 2000, like the new millennium, when they like changed everything, and they had like this weird building you could go in. There was like the kind of the Millennium Building. It was only open for that year, and you could go in there and they had like different kinds of games and stuff like that. Let's just quickly look though at the map from 1999 and see what the map looks like then. Yeah, see, as you see, they changed it to that look, and then at this point the Test Track was open now at that point. Horizons was, the attraction is closed. Yeah, so this is when it closed. So it closed in 1999 is when it was gone. So I only went to it or discovered it for some reason one of those years I got to go. Because I think in 1997 it was kind of open like sporadically, and then like kind of was open and closed at certain times. So this map here was from, what year did I say this map was from? This is from 99. So by 99 it was gone, the Horizons building. Other than that though, there wasn't really anything else different, and I guess they never. So this one now is saying with Ellen, they're mentioning Ellen. So I don't know if it was Ellen at this point is when it became Ellen, or if it was Ellen at then. I don't know for sure. That's one of those things I can't remember. Now though, we'll look at Magic Kingdom. Now this one though is when it was the Magic Kingdom with the map that I don't like as much. It's like you see how confusing it is to understand. It's so funny too, like all these ads on the back for Kodak cameras, and they still make those, but nobody's. I gotta figure out how to open this up. But as you see, like I said, it's just such a strange kind of. This one's not as hard to understand, but if you look at it, like the detail and everything, it's not great when you see how they had it like laid out. I'm so glad that they changed, over from this look. This is when Toontown was still there. Toontown Fair is still out here, but they closed that down a long time ago out in Disney World. Trying to make sure you gotta close these things right without like screwing these old maps up. I can't believe the shape these are still in, but let's see Magic Kingdom in 99 or 1998. And like I said, when they switched it over, it's so much easier to show. More ways to play. Not easy doing this with one hand. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of what really changed here besides the Toontown Fair, which became, I think that's the Beauty and the Beast area now, I believe, because Fantasyland is here and they took all this out and put like Beauty and the Beast and stuff. But other than that, at this point in time, I don't think there was too much here different. I'll go across this though so you guys can look and see like what it says. And you guys can let me know like what stuff you remember that wasn't there at the time, or that was still here and stuff like that they got rid of. Show-wise, let me see, like the Sword in the Stone, Crystal Palace. I don't think there was too much different here at this point. This one is like the Times and Informations. Let's see here. Wet and Wild, I'll show a quick look at that one. I like the look of this map though, the Wet and Wild one, the way it's drawing. I feel like the person who drew this may have done something else, because it looks sort of like, almost like the person who did Where's Waldo. But we went to this park a lot in the beginning, like the early years that we went there, we went to this one a lot. This is now where Volcano Bay is, this whole park. They use that land. And it was kind of a cool park though, back in the day. Just look at that one slide, like the dark slide you go through. And here's like some of the food places that were there, like a funnel cake, Dipping Dots, Pizza and Subs Arcade, Bubba's Chicken and Barbecue main snack. You guys can see some of the stuff on the back here. But we went here a decent amount of time, but we started going more to the other one, to Typhoon Lagoon. Here's the SeaWorld one. Like I said, we went there a couple times. Not a ton. This one is from '97. I used to like to go here though and like look at the area where they filmed Jaws 3, because like the area that you walk through where the sharks are is where Jaws 3 was done, in this area, in the Terrors of the Deep. This whole thing, they kind of used this area for the walkthrough thing in Jaws 3, so if you've seen that. And most of the park, all the park was shot there as well. This stuff they don't have anymore. These like stunt kind of things that people riding the jet skis and that kind of stuff. I don't think there's any of that existing there anymore. And I don't know if this is here anymore either. This, let me know in the comments though if this is here, this crawl through thing. Like my brother went through here and I went through when I was like maybe 10 or 11, something like that. And I was like a little too big to be crawling through this thing, but it was a huge crawl through thing. Kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. And then this one, Wild Arctic, which I believe that's still there now. Let's see now. Now this is my favorite of all the map things. This Universal Studios Florida one. This is like I said, the first thing I remember picking up at the hotel. And I got this thing there. And they were advertising like new this summer, Terminator 3D. Let me try and go through all this stuff though. Ride the movies. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this one. And it kind of tells you like the things that are there. Nickelodeon Studios has Jaws here. The Jaws ride, and that, you know, that whole Jaws area became the Harry Potter area now. And then this is a great image here for the Back to the Future ride, which I really like that ride. It shook you up big time, but I liked it more than what they put in there, which was The Simpsons. Because I felt like the Back to the Future one was much more interesting, like one you could go on more. And this was my favorite though, the Kongfrontation. And they had a version of this that I got to do once or twice out here, but it ended up burning down in the Universal Studios California tour that you go through. They had like a mini version of this, but this was actually a really cool thing that I really think Universal probably regrets taking this one out, because this was a very cool thing. And of course E.T., which they did have one of those out here at Hollywood, but that closed a really long time ago. And then the Earthquake, which that ended up becoming the show called Disaster that Christopher Walken like hosted, like a virtual version of himself hosted it, and now that became Fast and Furious. But the Fast and Furious though is not too popular, that particular ride. This is the Ghostbusters. Now this, I regret we did not go and watch this, and I don't know why. I don't know if I didn't figure out what it was. They had and they also had a great gift shop. And they had all the Ghostbusters toys, like the classic, you know, they weren't really that old at the time, but this is '96, but they had all the toys and stuff in there. The Barney Land, that's still there, but I think they said that may be closing. Five-O's Playland, which is still there. This one they had like a water slide thing I used to go down, and I don't think though they ever have them in characters anymore like that. And then this was a great one, the Hanna-Barbera ride. You go through. It was like the Hanna-Barbera kind of characters and stuff. I really like that. And of course the Nickelodeon Studios. Now this one is great because you see the slime machine thing and like the building, the way it looked. And you could see, you know, they were advertising taping of all that. Experience, you know, Double Dare, visit the sets. And I remember going through here and seeing the cast of Gullah Gullah Island, like getting their makeup done. And they had the Lucy tribute, which that stayed here until pretty recently, a couple years ago. Now that's the Hello Kitty store. This I got to see, the Alfred Hitchcock 3D exhibit, which is like a, they did like kind of like a show kind of thing, which I really like that. And that closed, I think this year or the following year, something like that, very soon after. This I never saw. This Angela Lansbury kind of show, like a Murder, She Wrote kind of show. If you guys ever saw that, let me know. But that one you don't hear people talk about much. The Beetlejuice's Graveyard Show. This was kind of like a singing show with Beetlejuice and like the monster characters, the animal actors, and this is when they were promoting Babe. The Wild Wild West stunt show, that's totally gone. I don't know where that was exactly in there. The Hollywood Backlot, because this is when they were still kind of shooting things out there. Hard Rock Cafe. So yeah, like I said, this one is a really good one. I remember like when I saw this, I was like, oh, I gotta see all these things and gotta go to these things. Here's one of the maps though. Is this the actual map? I guess this isn't the actual map here. That's just another one of these ones, like the same kind of thing, but a year later. But this is the map from that time, from '97. So let's see the way their map looks. So look at how their map was then. It was like this. It's like the same kind of thing that Disney had, like this kind of hard to, like not much detailed kind of thing, but you see like where the stuff was, like the Terminator 2 3D was like here, the Alfred Hitchcock show, Hanna-Barbera, Nickelodeon Studios, Kongfrontation. This is the preview center when they were like previewing what Islands of Adventure was going to look like. Over here is Jaws, like this now is all Harry Potter land. So, oh yeah, so the stunt show was over here. So the stunt show became Men in Black. So that they probably got rid of that pretty soon after. This one here though is for like the Islands of Adventure one that has like the pictures. It's kind of like the Universal one. And it kind of like, I think this was soon after the park had just opened. It has in here though, like about the entry, let's see, like where you enter the park, advertising the Marvel area. And this area, this park is relatively the same besides, you know, adding like Harry Potter stuff. And some of the things, a lot of the stuff has stayed there, like the Spider-Man, like the stuff that was there in the very beginning. It's one of those parks, they hadn't really gotten rid of too much of the stuff. Like Jurassic Park is still there. I know they're going to change that over to Jurassic World, like they did out here. But Lost Continent, that's still here. The Hulk roller coaster is still there. They did redo it recently, like a couple of years ago. The Dr. Seuss land here. The Popeyes thing, which is still there. The this is like showing the Universal Studios. Of course, you know, Terminator is gone now. Terminator 2. It's talking about CityWalk here. Let's see here. Here's one of the map though, the guide map of Islands of Adventure. And this one has an actual, it switched over just like the other ones where it was like a detailed map, and it's showing here, like, and like I said, most of the stuff is still here. Like the area here is, you know, Dr. Seuss. Over here is the Marvel area where they have like the Doctor Doom, Spider-Man's over here, Dudley Do-Right, the Toon Lagoon over here. They put in this, where did they add? I think in this spot right here is where they put the, they had the show there. So that's what they had here. They had a show here, like the stunt show that I was talking about in my photos video. And this is where they put the King Kong, like the new King Kong ride. And then Harry Potter land was kind of put in this area back here, I believe, is where they put that. This empty area, I'm not sure what's over here now. I think they're building some things over. I think this might be, is this Harry Potter? Might be here, I think. I can't remember for sure. I think these roller coasters are gone, or some of these roller coasters I know are gone. But yeah, like I said, the majority of the park though is relatively the same. It's not like too different. You can see like up here, though, some of the stuff they're promoting, Popeye and Bluto, Amazing Spider-Man, Dr. Seuss, and then back here it has like the shopping, like some of the stores, and then the restaurants, and you know, gives you like details of all the stuff. But I'm glad though, like the maps are not like those early ones, because like I said, you could not understand those really well. I never could like figure them out back in the day. Let's see here, Animal Kingdom here. Animal Kingdom though, I always liked Animal Kingdom. It's basically more like back then, like going to a zoo, because now they added like the Avatar land and a bunch more like thrill rides and stuff like that. But this was early on here. And like this Camp Mickey area, this closed for a while, and then they opened that up because I think this is the one where you go on the train. I think that's where the train is, and I think that area though, for a while was closed, and they opened it back up. Dinoland USA. Back at this point, if you look at Dinoland USA, they had a restaurant in there, which was a does it list the restaurants? It was like a McDonald's, and that's totally gone now. But it was like a McDonald's kind of restaurant, because Disney used to have some kind of a deal with McDonald's, and they throughout the parks, like in some of them sold like fries. They had like a cart in Magic Kingdom where they sold McDonald's French fries and that kind of stuff. Somewhere around here is where they added the raft ride, and then they added the like the raft ride you go around, and they also added the big roller coaster. I think around this spot.
And I think like maybe up in here is where the Avatar land is. I've never actually seen the Avatar land. I never went there. I haven't been back there since I think it was 2007, 2015. I believe was the last time I was here. See anything on the back? Does it say anything about the restaurants? Saying like the McDonald's kind of thing? I don't think it does. They didn't advertise the restaurants exactly the same back then, like with as much detail and everything. It's like very different the way when you look at the maps now. Let's look here though at MGM. Now this is back when MGM, now it's called Hollywood Studios. It's one of those parks though. I never was. It was like I liked it then, but like throughout the changes when they took away all the movie aspects and stuff, I didn't like it as much because it was much more interesting early on, especially when it was more like a theme, like a movie studio kind of thing. But this park has had the most changes of any park. I feel like this park is like a shell of what it was, because the big thing here was the Backlot tour. You went through here and you went through like on this tram, and they had like a catastrophe canyon, which was like a thing where like a truck catches fire and all this water pours on it. You went through a town area where you saw like the sets of the house from Golden Girls, the house from Ernest, and then like around here, like Muppets is still there, Star Wars is still here. But up in here though, this is where they built the Star Wars land and Toy Story, the new Toy Story coaster and all that kind of stuff. The great movie ride now is the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And then up in here though is like the studio area where the Hunchback of Notre Dame restaurant was. But up here though, if you look, they had all these different shows that like totally don't exist anymore. Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that's gone. That's the walkthrough. And some kind of an Indiana Jones thing. Monster Sound Show, that's gone. This I never got to see. Ace Ventura Pet Detective, I have no clue what that was. I never saw that. Superstar Television, that's gone. So it's just so weird to see some of these things that totally don't exist anymore. They don't have any pictures of this Ace Ventura thing. I wish I would have seen that. And then I think like the following year they got like the Doug show, like Doug live on stage or something like that. Does it show that in here? Because around maybe the 99 was when Doug would have come in. And they also had like a Drew Carey kind of sound show where you like went through and all you did was hear Drew Carey play like a security guard, and it was all like sounds and stuff that you heard and everything. At this point though, they had, here it is, they're advertising it here. And it was new at this point. I thought this is when it came in. I'm trying to get this open, and one hand is not easy. Let's see here. If you see, like right here, continuous 12-minute shows with Drew Carey. And it was actually kind of fun. Like he made all these like weird noises, and then they had this, like I was saying, Doug 30-minute show, like a live show. That was kind of fun as well. I don't know how many years that one lasted. Other than that, though, this is when they added more to the Tower of Terror, like it had more drops, and the Phantasmic thing had just gotten built at this point. Other than that, though, this is the making of Disney animation. That was the thing that I was mentioning that's totally gone now. And then the backstage pass thing, that was like you walk through, like you saw like production stuff about things being made. Bear in the Big Blue House, that's totally gone. Of course, like I said, the Backlot tour is gone. Let's see, is there anything about the restaurants or anything back here? It shows the Bear in the Big Blue House, Phantasmic dinner type thing. But yeah, like I said, I feel like this is, out of all the parks, this is the one. Now Epcot, though, is kind of going the same direction as MGM, where everything is changing. But that's the most different of all the parks, with like all the changes. This was an early downtown Disney guide map here. Now it's called, Disney Springs. Let's see if it shows on here, though, Virgin Records. Because that was like my favorite thing to go to there. Like they had a huge, like probably one of the biggest Virgin Records. I think it was even bigger than the one in New York. It was like enormous, and it had like so many movies. I mean, it's like a huge movie section in there. Get this open here. Yeah, you see like there is still advertising, Disney Quest. That's of course gone. You see Virgin Megastore, and that was right here. It was an amazing, huge place. And then that became like the Titanic exhibit at one point. Now it's turned into a big bowling alley, but this is gone. The Disney Quest, The Cirque du Soleil is gone. They're going to be bringing that back. But over here, though, some of these things, bongos, that's gone now. This is when they had Pleasure Island, like the adults kind of place. You have to be like 21 to go to these certain shows. Wolfgang Puck, that's gone now. I think this Adventures Club is gone. These are some of these entertainment things. All this is gone. The BET soundstage, like all this is, they got rid of all of these things. I believe all this is still here though. McDonald's, I don't know if they got rid of the McDonald's. The Ghirardelli, that's still there. World of Disney's still there. Rainforest Cafe. Fullerton's, we had a terrible meal there. I remember it was so overpriced. It was really bad, but that's gone too. It's just so weird, like looking at this, seeing how different it is now. Because when you look at people's videos and you see what like downtown Disney, because now it's called Disney Springs. I feel like though this back then was so much cooler. Like that was like, I know they have more restaurants there now, but the whole vibe of the place back then was way more interesting. I really do wish I would have filmed some of it back then. I just didn't because it was all stores, so I didn't get too much, if not anything of it back then. And here's another look here at the MGM Studios one. This is like a like one of the picture kind of ones that shows you in detail, like a look at the park and like a better view, like photo views of everything. This is like showing the Tower of Terror when they were like, I guess this is when this was new, when the Tower of Terror just had opened. Indiana Jones Stunt Show, which is still there. The Toy Story Parade now, you know, of course, it's like they have the Toy Story Land, but this is when they just like did a parade of it. Beauty and the Beast Live, Little Mermaid Show, which I believe that's still there. This was like this was what I was mentioning too, the Art of Animation, where they like you could see people like the actual animators in there doing some animations and stuff, which was cool. I liked that was there. Muppet Vision is still there. Star Tours is still there. And then this was the so here's a look at the Ace Ventura guy. So here's what he looks like. So there's a picture of him. Ace Ventura goes live in a new action-packed street featuring. So I guess he went on the street and did like some kind of a show. Like I said, I never saw this. If you guys want to read this, like what it says that he was doing and everything. This is like the see stuff being made. They didn't film too much there. The Great Movie Ride, which I loved. I wish they would have just updated that instead of getting rid of that. And then the Catastrophe Canyon part of the Backlot tour. This is, like I said, the stunt kind of thing when they have like water pouring down and this thing exploding and all that kind of stuff. This thing here, Superstar Television, was some kind of a like stage show kind of thing. I don't know if I ever saw this. Same with this one here, Monster Sound. We see this like hitting on things. I think I might have saw that. I believe so. But like I said, when you look at what MGM had, they had some cool stuff, and they turned that park into like, I mean, no one admits it, but it's not very good anymore. What they did to it. And they had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and all these things could have been updated to just updates of what these things were. The Sci-Fi Diner, that was still there. We went there a couple times to eat. And then here, this is from 2008. It's like a little CityWalk kind of thing, Universal CityWalk, where they had like the NBA Experience was still there, Hard Rock Cafe, the AMC movie theaters, Bubblegum Shrimp, Margaritaville, Lone Plain Airport, Emeralds. That was what you go through. You walk through that on the way to the Universal Parks. Let's see here. I'll try and fold this up correctly. It's not easy to fold them up. And then this here was Festival Bay. This is all totally gone. I think it's like abandoned now. I think they might be trying to do something else with it. It ended up becoming the Artagon shopping center kind of thing, but this is one of those malls that they built. And we used to go there just to go to the movie theaters. It was like a Cinemark. It was a really nice theater. I remember seeing like American Wedding there. That's one of the movies I remember seeing there. And it was one of those first times we ever went to one where they had food. But it was like when we were there, you know, food you could order like, you know, chicken fingers and fries and all that kind of different stuff. But we were here, we were watching them build all this big mall, and it never, they put a couple stores in there, but like 60% of the mall never got filled. They never put anything in it. They never could fill the spaces. They used to have all these false fronts in it. And it was just like crazy. But then like little by little, everything started to close. And then there was like nothing left. Then they turned it into this art kind of mall, like Artagon Mall. You know, a couple years ago, and now it all closed. But they had like Ron John Surf Shop there, Outdoor World, Ron John Surf Shop, Fuddruckers, Van Skate Park. They had like a really big skate park in there. But here's a look though too, if you guys want to see, you know, like what was some of the stores in there, because I don't think there's too many people that like showed this place. So you can see some of what was there. But it was like, a lot of these stores never got filled, and then little by little, every year we would go back, we would watch more and more things getting closed down in there. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys though was some of these photos. When you would do like the rides, they had like photo op kind of things you could get. Like this is one of the years, the Tower of Terror, you know, with me and my mom in here. I think this was probably, because those pictures that I was showing, you know, the other video showing the family photos, you see me wearing that shirt. So you can kind of like match that up. And the Men in Black one, which was where the Wild Wild West stunt show was. You see us in here. This one, there's not tons of video of this ride. I guess it's still here, but not too many people film it because it's one of those ones they yell at you if you film on this one. They do this. They used to do the same thing big time on the Cat in the Hat ride. Like they would really get mad. In this one here, they were doing a lot of these like Photoshop things, cutting you into the pictures. So you see me in the window here. It's kind of poorly cut out. And then my brother here for Cat in the Hat. And then another one here for Cat in the Hat. We did the Cat in the Hat one a couple times. This one here was like my brother like pulling me out of the thing's mouth. So you see me here getting pulled out of the mouth. This was one of the meal things you got on the auto train. I was talking about how that's how we would go to auto train. They had this Amtrak kids meal. I kept this thing here. It was like the part on the top of it. Countdown to Extinction. This was the dinosaur ride. That's still here now. And somehow it ended up being just me and my mom in the front. Like I don't know how, but there was like these 2 empty spaces there. And then here's another one for Tower of Terror. See this one here. My mom are back there in the back. You see us back there. And then this is one for Splash Mountain. And all these ones you have to pay for though, so we didn't get them all the time. This one here is me, my mom, and my brother. This is another one on the dinosaur ride. This one, there's another empty space in the front. I don't think my dad ever went on this one. This one like was a little intense. This is basically though the same track and the same experience as the Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland. It's pretty much the same ride per se. Besides, it's instead of like being Indiana Jones, it's dinosaurs. And then this one was another year. This time my dad went on it. My brother was like real scared going on this one here. And then these ones were my brother's ones. This was when I was talking about the Goosebumps area you could go in at MGM, which is like was only lasted there a year or two. They did a photo op thing where they would add you in to the cover. So it would be like Vampire Breath, and you could kind of pick whatever kind of cover you wanted, and they'd add you into it. And then this one here is when my brother met the Shrek. Yes, he actually met Shrek himself. So I met him there. You know, Shrek is life. Shrek is love. Shrek is life. So I met him there as well.
Anyway, though, guys, that was my video showing you my retro maps. If you guys, though, have any videos, though, when you went to Disney World, you know, around that time, and any of the parks that I was showing maps of, if you guys have any footage of that stuff, totally, you know, feel free to link those videos in the description. Always really cool to see that kind of stuff, especially around the years of like 96 to like 2000, 2002, around the time when things were really different in some of the ones, especially places like MGM. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any stuff like that, totally feel free to link those below. You know, love to see those kind of things. But anyway though, guys, like I always say, if you guys enjoy my videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later.